All right, the Triple Crown News Minute for April 18th is presented by Kentucky Equine Research. Stick around to learn more about their recent studies on omega-3s in racehorses. Ray, the prep races are all done, so now it's that time of year when you have the jockey carousel going on and you have those final spots to be decided. I mean, you know who's got the points, but then there are some that might defect, decide to sit it out. What is your biggest takeaway from the prep season?
Well, in the beginning, it was sort of very unpredictable. We had a lot of surprises, but it concluded fairly formfully with favorites winning the last three major prep races, the Wood Memorial, Bluegrass, and Arkansas Derby. So we go into this with some semblance of order. Mike Smith obviously had, I think, his choice of rides was the most interesting between Roadster and Omaha Beach, and he went with Omaha Beach, which, you know, I'm not going to argue with a Hall of Famer who's been on as many good horses as he has, so we'll have to see. But you failed to mention what's happening in the next couple of weeks now are these workouts. They're going to be the most closely scrutinized workouts in all of racing.
Yeah, well, just to clarify the jockey situation, you know, the news comes from all different places, so I'll just run through the top few so everybody knows who's on which horse. Jose Ortiz is on the top point earner, Tacitus. You said Mike Smith on Omaha Beach. And then you have Javier Castellano, I believe, is going to ride Vacoma. We haven't heard otherwise. Plusco Parfait gets Ricardo Santana Jr. Florent Giroux picks up Roadster with Mike Smith choosing Omaha Beach. And then you have By My Standards with Gabriel Saez, Luis Saez on Maximum Security, and Joel Rosario riding Game Winner. Code of Honor, John Velasquez, it looks like he's going to ride that horse. And then Irad Ortiz Jr. picked up Improbable, which is an interesting jockey change there.
Yeah, and you mentioned John Velasquez on Code of Honor. That's a horse that, we haven't made our picks yet, but that's a horse that could be kind of a sleeper pick at this stage. If you look at the Florida Derby, where Maximum Security was able to get away with really soft fractions, Code of Honor did finish a little bit. If you look at the head-on, especially, he went a little sideways at about the 16th pole. But I think this is a horse who still has some upside to him.
I totally agree with you, and he reminds me of Orb, in fact, the Shug McGahee winner of the Kentucky Derby a few years ago. Come from behind style, keeps coming, the distance is going to help him. So yeah, and he gets Johnny Velasquez, who is one of the best Derby riders ever. So certainly Code of Honor has to be considered. But when we put him aside for a second, it looks to me like the people storyline here is you've got the two prominent trainers who everyone loves, Richard Mandela and Bill Mott, that have never won the Kentucky Derby, with top chances in here against Bob Baffert's trio, and he's won the Kentucky Derby 5 times. So is one of those camps going to win, or will it be an upset by somebody else?
Yeah, Baffert has won it 5 times. He's also finished first and second once. He is yet to finish first, second, and third. And that's a strong possibility. He has 3 very live chances.
I have to say, I hope that doesn't happen. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Triple Crown News Minute. We'll be back next week with more developments. And, of course, throughout Derby Week, we'll have the latest news with the Triple Crown News Minute presented by Kentucky Equine Research.
One of the main studies that we're doing here at the Performance Center is looking at the effect of different omega-3 fats on performance and in particular inflammatory response to exercise. Our flagship omega product, EO3, we've already shown that it does some pretty incredible things in terms of changing fatty acid composition in the blood and red blood cells, and we're in the process of seeing how well it mediates inflammatory response to intense exercise, which we're able to do on the racetrack. That's truly what KER is about, and that is testing our products, doing research, and then applying that research in the real world.